We arrive at the heart of this podcast: Jesus, love, and humanity's spiritual awakening. Every major shift starts with the visionaries who seem to be ahead of time. Once mocked becomes mainstream. What once felt radical becomes normal. The same is happening with the authentic teachings of Jesus. Not the religion about Jesus, but the religion of Jesus, his life, his love, his ways of living. Christianity laid the foundation. Now humanity is maturing. The Evangel book doesn't reject the past, it builds on it. And the invitation is simple: read the life of Jesus, take one step of living faith, and let God handle the rest. Welcome to Team Jesus Worldwide. So tell us, Diane, this concept of Team Jesus Worldwide and the evolution that you're talking about in the way that we understand Jesus and we understand ourselves.
Well, Jesus has revealed many, many things to me, Santiago. And so it came on its own. I take no credit for it. I give all the glory to God in his creator son, Jesus Christ, Michael. And it's beautiful for me to be observing, watching it happen on a planetary level, step by step. And again, it's not a radical change. It's a gradual change. It's this new world. And it's just like when I was at the beginning of the organic food movement, we were just a few. And I remember going to start that in the big major grocery stores, and they would say like, "Are you crazy? What's that?" Today, people go in a grocery store, just a grocery store, not even a health food store, grocery store, and they say, "Oh, where is the aisle for organic food?" So we were just a few, and we were laughed at, which is a normal phase. Phase number one, they will be ridiculed. Phase number two, could that be true? And phase number three, let's embrace it. So it's the same thing now with Team Jesus. Team Jesus is rising up worldwide. I see it, I observe it, I love it. It brings me to tears. It's happening at such a subtle and not so subtle way. It's like, it's a wonder. And yet at the same time, it's happening the same time that this is happening. The old world is going down, down, down. So for some, it can be only discouraging because they only focus on that end of a time. But for the ones who are seeing the new world, it's like, oh my God. And it's living in HD mode. Jesus is the model, and it is so inspiring, and it's based on love. And that's why I said at the very beginning, it's not enough to know of Jesus. It's not enough to know about Jesus. It's not enough to know the religion of Jesus. The next and final phase, again, the Trinity, 1, 2, 3 phase, we're at phase 3 now. It's for people to gradually, each at their own pace. There's no favorite. God has no favoritism. So for everyone to come to be in love with Jesus, with the man who knows us, has been here, done it, lived it, and says, you know what? I took it all for you, children. You can start to enjoy life. Just join hands with me. I'll help you. I'll guide you. I need you as humans to get the will of my Father be done on earth as it is in heaven. And yet at the same time, you need to do your part. This is what is the HD mode, the human and divine mode. And let's be clear, Santiago, it doesn't mean to say when I say human and divine that we can say we are God. No, God is God. So God is God, it stops.
Yeah.
But we are of God. We are the sons and daughters of God. So we are of divine heritage. Are we living in our human but also divine heritage? When we punch at each other, when we shoot each other, not too divine for me, So humanity is rising up in maturity and learning that war is not the answer, but it's the end of one world and the next, the birth of a new world.
And I think it's important. I mean, this human divine the way to embrace it, and we've been saying the most clear example is Jesus in his way of living life, of having divine communion, but also living immortal life, and how important it is for us to not be just run down by our problems and by the situations of life, but to overcome them, right? To really live like Jesus valiantly and go beyond our limitations.
There's no comparison. There's no need for envy, jealousy, hypocrisy, and all this. And if someone seems to have more gift than another, no. It's just that we all have our own path to live and all this. And if one is um, more advanced in their development, the idea is to help the other ones, not to show off and to think that we're the best thing since sliced bread, but to be there and help others and our brothers and sisters who need help. And we may meet others that are more advanced than us in terms of evolution, and they also help us. So again, it's a big chain. We're one in that universal chain, you know? So again, it's a dance of love, of light, the
Of
light
killing
of.
your ego.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying, that the advanced help the not so more advanced, and it's a
Yes.
chain. And one of the big things is not to fall in love with your ego, and to and that's how you overcome this. People that really are selfless and that are really serving other people, and not looking at their own personal benefit. I mean, this personal evolution, this path forward just comes naturally to them, because they're looking at the other person, not at
Yes.
themselves. And
Yes.
that's where they can really, that's when your best attributes come. I think that when you become selfless, uh, your best traits, and I also like what you said about this, that we are all unique, and that we have our unique contribution, and that we have to understand that unique contribution and bring it. So it's like, I don't want to say it's a paradox, but it's interesting to see that the less we think of ourselves and we think of others and we serve others, the more of ourselves we pour into others, the more of ourselves that we give and that we share, without, pushing ourselves into others. So it's kind of a interesting way of how we aggrandize. It's not by aggrandizing our ego, but really by
Yes.
serving other people, right?
And the best antidote to me, Santiago, is to do it out of love. And again,
Yeah.
pure love. I'm not talking about all kinds of human versions of love. Some people call love, when the revelators tell us we are ashamed at times to use the word love when they use the word love. And, like people go, I don't know, have a relationship with people and they don't even know their name. That's not love. And I'm not saying it's bad. No, I'm just saying out of pure love. When we do something out of pure love, what is love? Very simple. It's the desire to do good to others. And so when you
Hmm.
have that desire to do good to others, it's pure love. And then you bear the fruits of the spirit and you see it flowering all over. And again, it's I've also observed that sometimes when you meet people that tend to be envious or jealous or all kinds of opposite of the fruits of the spirit, they forgot to look at themselves to see the gift
Hmm.
they received from God. So instead of envying what the other one has, or criticizing or attacking or this or that and blah 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 blah, hey, look at yourself. Take a look and see what God gave you, so that instead of envying and wanting to have what the other one has, no, leave them alone. But develop what you have that is rotting in the basement of your being because you're not using it. Do you think God
Yeah.
would do you think God would be happy to say, "What did you do with what I gave you?" So let's all
Yeah.
use what we have, and then it can be another wonderful human dance.
And it's really important, Diane. I think that to find, and we mentioned also the concept of vocation. Instead, it's not the mundane stuff, but it's really what drives you, and what the way that you contribute, and really what your calling. is what you have to really bring out in the world. I think that's part of what we have to do in this experience in life, is to understand, find it, because it's hard, and it's easier, like you're saying, to look at the others, see their vocation or see what they have, and kind of say, it's easier to try to copy that, or try to, that's what I have to do, because that's what we see. But it's harder to go inside of, trying to
Mhm.
find yourself, of understand yourself, of changing yourself. And I think that's very important, of attuning yourself, because we're not perfect, and that takes time. That is painful, because sometimes we have to kill, or we have to, like we were saying, go from one season to another, or go from one cycle to another. But it's understanding that we're evolving and we're going to that. But how important it is to be evolving in us, be transitioning, becoming that vocation that we are, so that we can serve and become
Yes.
fully realized. I think that the most realized persons, or the most, that live fully and that are happy, are the ones that, they're not just they're earning thousands and millions of dollars, or they're achieving all these grandiose things. It's people that really live their life, and that really, maybe their vocation is just very simple things, but they do it with all their heart, and how that really works for them and everything around them, right?
Yes, and I just had a thought as you were talking. It makes me think of Santiago, a big, beautiful philharmonic orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
Think of a big, huge philharmonic orchestra, and the maestro is none other than the master. Okay? Now, if we look at the orchestra and it starts to play and all the instruments are there and everyone, even if there's a special violinist at the front who is just, he's been gifted. It's one thing to have talent, but it's another thing to have a gift. A talent,
Mm-hmm.
you learn to better and develop it, but a gift is a gift. Okay. Mozart had a gift. It was just like, bang, it's still as perfect today. And so even if there's a beautiful violinist beside the maestro and all the other important instrumentalists,
Yeah.
musicians, are they going to go jealous? Like, why him and not us? No. Hey, play your part, because he's going to come out perfect. Like I want him to be perfect because of all of you. The
Yeah.
symphony is going to be perfect. So let God decide who has a destiny, who has a calling, who has even the mother who raises children. My mother raised all those children. She's not in the news. She's not in any book. And yet I know how grand she was. She was a great
Yeah.
woman. And so all this to say, it's not only the ones that are in the limelight that are great. No. And sometimes we have to be careful because they have a hidden whatever. So no,
Yeah.
the maestro is there. We just have to keep our eye on him. So when he says, hey, your turn. Okay, tap, 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 tap. You take up your
Yeah.
instrument and you play. And then life is going to be a harmonious melody.
I like this example, because as a musician, I understand perfectly that, in many cases, it's not about you putting all the notes in there. Maybe it's just you hitting 2, 3 notes, and that really just colors the
Yeah,
song in a way that it's unique, and it didn't need, the 3,000 notes. It just the 3 notes that really
that's right.
gave it the color than that what it needed. So I really like that example. So we're gonna be wrapping this up. It's been flying this episode.
I was just thinking that.
And yeah, and coming, talking about this the team Jesus, and what you were saying, and I really like this, of how we are going beyond the classical, the traditional way that we saw Jesus, into this new way of seeing Jesus. So let's say that our audience is the first time that they see us here. What is this new Jesus, let's say, that you're presenting, Diane? What is it, if this was the first time somebody heard you or heard us, that wants to go beyond the traditional Jesus that we find in Christianity? What other attributes, fruits, does this Jesus have that we can really learn from?
Okay. To answer your question, Santiago, people need to know that Jesus is here now. His spirit is here. He's here His spirit of truth is Jesus without his human body. But that doesn't mean to say he's not here. He's here more than we can even think of and conceive. And so to there was a time, and I believe that there's no mistake. It happened because it had to happen that way, to glorify Jesus as the Son of God, this divine being that was so far from us. It was like there's God and Jesus and us. But now that we know a lot about the divine side of Jesus, we need to bring the human Jesus back on the ground, on earth, and to keep the divine and to commune with him, to ask him to reveal himself in and through us, to have him live in us and through us for the good of all and the glory of God. And so it's the communion, it's the marriage. Talk about the most beautiful marriage, the most beautiful wedding. It's to have the soul commune with the Father through the Son, and to have this wedding that we speak, we think, we speak, and we act in union with him. And so Jesus becomes very human, very real, very beautiful. And to see that when we look at our brothers and sisters, we don't only see skin and bones, we see their spirit. This is why, sometimes when you look at someone and they look at you straight in the face, and what do you say? You think, oh, I like that person. They're honest. They're straightforward. When you see, like this, like
Yeah.
that, you say, I'm on my, I'm cautious, And so to have Jesus, his spirit live in us and express, so the HD mode can become a reality, because we're going to enlighten life whether we like it or not. And so we're helping our brothers and sisters that when you and I and the whole world is going to be in heaven, they're going to be here on earth. They're going to be entering light and life. So we are the first seeds, the first, again, the cycle, just like when the organic movement or the fitness
Yeah.
movement was starting, it was just a few. And now it's all over the planet. So now what we're doing today is going to be all over the planet in a while. And we will have contributed individually to help this new growth, this new world, to live in HD mode, in our human and divine mode. Because to end, I would like to say that what crosses my mind, Santiago, is that
Hmm.
we are almost deifying machines, especially with artificial intelligence. Okay, it's great. It seems to be. I am not, and I'm not into that. I'm not the most knowledgeable about artificial intelligence, but what I hear is that it's phenomenal, wonderful, but it is machine AI. What about human AI? Our
Yeah.
adjuster intelligence. And so we also have our human version of that. And this is why, before deifying machines, it's as great as the telephone invention or the internet or whatever, which will be at our service, complementary with us. But instead, let's deify God through his Son, acting, living in and through us to inspire people and make this world a better world, the way it should be.
I like what you said about this, this expanded Jesus, and my take, what you're saying of living or seeing both his divine and human nature. I think it's very important that we see the human
Yes.
nature, which is the one that we can relate to, that we can understand. Apart from, like you said, first we had to see the glorified Jesus, the beyond. But now we're seeing that he was relatable. He came to this world to become one of us, to understand us, and that we understand him. So that's one of the things I take from this conversation. And also the spirit of truth, like you said, that even though he's not physically here, that Jesus isn't here, in his material way, his spirit lives with us. And that's something that he left when he departed this world, the spirit of truth that lives within all of us, not just the fragment of God the Father that we all have, but we have that spirit of truth that when we're ever in doubt, when we're ever at a crossroads where we do not know where to go, and that, you're It's
Yes.
always in there that it's going to point us into the right direction. So always be conscious that we have these spirits within us that help us, right?
Yes. And what's beautiful is that as you were talking, I just got to realize that, to understand that it was actually meant to be, because the way it happened, humanity was made to discover first and foremost, uno, first, the Son of God,
Mm-hmm.
who he is, to respect him, to accept him, to glorify the Father with him, and all this. Now it's time to discover the Son of Man, capital M, so that
Yes.
it will complete the two. And the Son of Man is here, right now, more than we can even conceive. But he's as well the Son of God, and omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he sees all, he knows all, and he controls all. So this is why we need to have faith.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and a lot of things that we can talk further, Diane, of this human Jesus and the attributes, and this human divine mode that you're telling us. And I think it's very important that we start understanding, that dual nature, and that as far
Mhm.
as we understand it, the more that we understand this, the more that we can understand our nature, and use our full existence. So thank you for coming. We're going to have to close now. It was really fast, so thank you for this. Definitely, we'll have other talks to further this more. And I also wanted to thank our audience for joining us. Remember to subscribe if you like this, and not only to share this, digitally, but also to tell people that if what you heard here you liked it, you think it's interesting, to tell that we're talking about stuff that might, like be something interesting to them as well, and something that might be heartfelt for them as well. So in the
Thank
meantime,
you for inviting
thank you,
me.
Diane. Any other words before we leave?
I send you and the rest of the world a whole lot of love. We need it. And so I send in, oh, actually, this is still Valentine's Day.
Yes,
So
yes.
God's love be with all of us, and let's do good to one another.
Perfect. I like that. I like that.
Okay?
Perfect. Thank you, Diane. And thanks, everybody. I'm Santiago
Pleasure.
Nilan. This is The Divine Within. Take care and carpe diem. On the Divine Within podcast, we'll share real conversations to help you find a personal connection with God. My goal is to support your faith, growth, and journey toward discovering the divine within yourself. Join us to deepen your faith and spiritual journey.